the Hammer, a podcast about Warhammer by Games Workshop.
Hammerheads, we are back. So much for 10 seconds of silence. Yes, I put that in the recording.
That's all right.
Welcome to episode 37. We are going to finish up, at least we hope, talking about the Idoneth Deepkin. Quite an undertaking because it's an entirely...
Undertaking?
Undertow. Undertow. Yes, because it's a completely new faction. We talked about that last time, so everything's new. We can't say, and you kind of know about this, so we're going to skip it. But in order to finish, I think we're going to have to summarize,
we're going to
kind of skim the surface.
Dive in.
Also, we are going to skip, at least for the most part, hobby tonight so that we can get right into it. But before we go on, I want to let my co-hosts say hello, and we'll start with you, Wes.
Wes from Broken Brush Gaming.
And Seth.
And Tela from Tela.
Tela from Tela. And Tela's quite the artist also. She just doesn't ever say anything about it.
Well, not at the same table with Wes, because that would imply that I have some sort of talent close to his.
Well, Wes is pretty amazing with a paintbrush.
Yeah, I wish you guys could see the model that's sitting right in front. I'm pretty sure he brought it just to establish dominance over the rest of us.
Yeah, that model is his man pose.
Look at what I've done.
Yeah.
Say something
Literally,
now.
the picture that I sent earlier just was not a very good picture, and I wanted you guys to see it for realsies.
It wasn't enough.
It's an amazing Doom Wheel.
Let me pee some more.
I wanted
you in the face with my
show you some
talent.
eye candy, that's all.
As always, Age of the Hammer is brought to you by the SGWA Wargaming Association. And I totally did that wrong this time. After
I know,
all
right?
all these times.
You pulled a me.
The South Georgia Wargames Association is where the best miniature players in South Georgia get their game on. I just flipped it and reversed it. And we are also brought to you by, take it, Wes.
Broken Brush Gaming. Broken Brush Gaming is a local commission paint service located here in South Georgia. If you are looking to get an army painted, or you need advice on how to paint your army, or just some tips and tricks on things that can help improve your painting game, you can look me up on Twitter at broken_brush, or shoot me an email, brokenbrushgaming@gmail.com.
Like I said, we're going to mostly skip hobby, but we've got to get the painting report from Wes.
Yeah, get that update.
All right, quick painting report. I painted 2 Doom Wheels this weekend.
They are amazing.
Did some personal work. Got almost... I think I've got like 5 witch elves left to put together. So there's like this box of witch elves just laying on my living room floor.
Just like your house, doesn't it, Tila?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, a little bit.
So those are ready to go, just assembly line style. I've got 2.5 units completely painted. The bases should be here within the next week or so, and we'll be able to start getting like finished product, so we can get like real pictures instead of just pictures on my table. I do want to just real quick, I know we're skipping hobby, but I just do want to talk for like maybe 2 minutes about the games we played this weekend, because they were super fun.
Oh, I was going to
They
skip
were.
them because I lost. So, you know.
Well, they were the first games that I had played in a few weeks, and also
And
the
won
first
both of
games. No, I only won one. And to be honest, I won it through trickery.
You're rats.
But yeah, so
It was thematically correct.
yeah, so I in a just prayer to GW, I bought some Skaven over the last couple of weeks, because I was like, oh, please just give us new rats. Like, I just want mechanized rats to be a thing. And then they announced a new edition, and I got super excited. And then it's going to be death, and yeah, whatever. So I'm just going to play old rats. I don't care.
Well, they served you well.
Rats have always been my favorite fact. I've loved Skaven. I used to have a whole buttload of Skaven back in like 5th edition fantasy. So anyway, I bought
Tila loves Skaven also.
Tila does love Skaven.
Yeah,
That's
she
not
loves
true
them.
at all.
But yeah, so I bought a couple of Doom Wheels. I bought an Arch Warlock. I had some Storm Fiends from my old Chaos AOS days that were my shooting with my Khorne army before Blades of Khorne came out. So I've got like a good Path to Glory starting crew. And so Mike and I and Wyatt got together and played a 3-way Path to Glory game. And through all kinds of skittering shenanigans where I should have lost that game, I somehow convinced Wyatt to not kill me. And he mopped up Mike's Fire Slayers for me, and I was able to finish him off with Doom Wheels and Arch Warlocks and spells. And so that was the first game. I won that one. And then we played a 4-way when Seth came with his Deepkin. And the funniest part of that was when Seth charged his Reavers into my Stormfiends.
Yeah.
That was hysterical. Because my Stormfiend just clubbed the crap out of them.
Yeah. 30 shots charge, and then I think I got like 20 melee attacks, and I couldn't even kill one.
Nope. And then I just killed all 10 of yours.
Yeah. In one fell swoop.
Yeah, it was pretty great. But I lost that game because I pulled a Skaven and just ran, and then realized, oh wait, if I had teamed up with the Fire Slayers, we probably could have taken down the Thunder Tusk, and then I would have had a chance.
And I was going to take the Brood of it again, so
Yeah.
you could have mopped up again.
But I pulled a real Skaven and just started running.
In typical Skaven fashion, you ran when you should have advanced.
Right, yeah. But that's Skaven for you. Yeah, so that's going to be my new personal army here for a while. I still got my Sylvaneth. I'll still keep painting them, play them every now and then. But Skaven are going to be my new fun. It just felt great to play an army that was like, okay, whatever. Like, if I win, that's cool. If I get obliterated, that's cool. Because the last, like, when I was playing my Khorne army and I was playing my Sylvaneth army, I was like, all right, I really want to make this work. Like, I've got to figure. And with Skaven, it's like, just get out there and be a conniving little jerk the whole time. And like, literally, that's what I did both games. Like, I would just literally just look at players and be like, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. And I felt completely justified being that guy at the table because I'm playing Skaven and it's thematic. So, yeah, but I
found yourself.
I'm just going to go on record. Out of the past couple of weeks, I've played like 4 or 5 games. Have not won a single one of them.
You play it like multi-games too, and against
Yeah.
Witch Elves, which is not
Yeah.
smart.
So,
Yeah. But yeah, so I just wanted to hit those games.
Team games will do that.
Yeah. But yeah,
well,
so
no,
that's,
some of them were single games against Randy
Oh.
right before he left.
that doesn't count either.
Yeah. I don't count games against Ramsey or Ryan.
Yeah, Randy
People
can,
that start with
Ra-
R.
Randy. Well, Randy's a solid player, but he'll spike some die rolls too.
Yes.
Ryan's going to be joining us with the Path to Glory, and he's actually thinking about Slanesh.
Oh god.
Very nice.
So
Gross.
yeah, so it'll be good to play against Ryan again.
Yep.
I do want to touch that I did my first lesson in Master Wes's master painting class. I learned how to spray paint. My models.
we did Zenithal highlighting with rattle cans.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was awesome.
Nice.
And I was gonna go home and I was gonna practice it on my models that I'm no longer playing. So that's awesome.
But
So
I
now-
get to paint those
now-
models.
Just
just
go ahead and
sitting
make
there.
all the listeners angry now,
Yeah.
so they can turn off and not
Yeah.
listen to the rest of the.
I'm not
podcast.
playing Idoneth Deepkin after all of my super excited craziness.
I mean, I'm not playing Sylvaneth after all of that lead up. So
Yeah, I know, right? Most of you may remember I tried to sell my Iron Jaws off, and someone traded me quite a lot of death stuff, and that was the Friday morning, and then Saturday morning I woke up, and then all the new Night Haunt stuff, and
GW gave you a gift.
yeah, I ran around
right?
the house like a giddy girl while drinking coffee. It was amazing.
great.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, she can attest.
Yeah, I get the one thing we haven't.
She just did,
Yeah,
and during that weekend she did.
yeah.
The one thing we
He
haven't
literally
said
woke me up to
is
do
that
it.
GW has released it. There is a new edition coming out in a month of
Yes.
AOS. So,
Yeah, I have notes for that somewhere.
yeah, that's another show altogether.
Yes.
I feel we would be remiss if we didn't say something about it.
Yeah, we did need to mention that, obviously, if you at all play this game with any frequency, you've seen that. But, just so you don't think we're total idiots, we've seen it too.
We've seen it. We have the notes on it. We'll,
We've been talking about it amongst ourselves. And,
yeah, we'll give you our thoughts on it probably next week.
Yeah.
Once
If we
everybody's
get through
have time
Deepkin this
to.
week.
If we can finish it, if I'll stop talking.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's do it.
All right,
Deepkin.
let's tackle it and jump on into it. Start with the Enclaves.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Now, let the two experts on the Deepkin
I'm gonna let
kick
Master
us off.
Pronouncer over there with Ionrach.
I'll do the pronunciation. You do what they do. So I literally read these about an hour ago.
Yeah.
I realized that we didn't do this last time when I looked at the outline. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah, because that was where we stopped. We'll pick up with the Enclaves. And I started looking at it, and I was like, we should have gone further and gotten the Enclaves, because there's a lot of stuff
there's
left
a
to
lot.
cover.
Yeah, so basically, the Enclaves are like your temples for Witch Elves, or your, what I assume is going to be like your Storm host for Stormcast moving forward, probably,
Yeah.
things like that.
It seems to be becoming a theme with the battle
Yeah.
times. One that I like.
I do too, yeah.
They did it with the Kharadron Overlords.
Did it with Kharadron, yeah. It's a very 40k move.
True.
But it's something I really enjoy about 40K.
Yeah.
You theme your army. You're not worried about, I've got this sect and this sect. None of that nonsense. No, we've got all of the things that are the same, and we can theme them up differently. So basically, you've got several. I believe there's 6 that are named, and these all have special abilities when you get to the rules as well. But you have Ionrach, which is sort of the main one that you see. They're
the more honorable.
Right, they're the more honorable. They're the ones that are always reaching out to the other ones.
If you can call someone that steals your soul
much
honorable.
As you can, yeah.
They're the peacekeepers. They're the envoys between all of the rest of them that keep them from being the true isolationists that they actually are.
Right. Yeah, then they also reach out to the other factions as well.
Yeah.
Well, which is why I'm going to go ahead and touch on their command trait. Allied units in an Ionrach army are treated as having the Tides of Death battle trait, and they can use the Tides of Death each round.
That's awesome.
That's
is
awesome.
Great. Yeah. Really good. And really thematic. I love that they brought that in there.
Yeah, you take some Stormcast, drop them in on turn 3 when they get to all go first.
Yeah. Oh, that. Yep.
Yeah.
The key is you have to actually be in combat. That you have to get.
That is true. You do have
but
to
by
get to
round
combat.
3, you're usually there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in all fairness, they did at least set that to where it's an attainable goal for you.
Well, the hardest part from what I found is actually still being in combat on round 3.
Being alive on round 3.
Well, yeah, but also in defense, we've been doing Path to Glory lists and starting lists, so it's very small forces.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't had like the swath of Namarti.
Yeah.
Well,
you haven't had the units of 30 either, 'cause
mostly
you
say
can't do
that
that with...
because they have a ton of movement and they have a ton of movement shenanigans to go with it. So it's very possible to be in combat on round 1, at the very least round 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think you definitely have to just hold back.
Yeah.
Well, and there's some armies you're going to face and play against that they're going to do that to you. They're going to press the battle on round 1 or round 2.
Which, when we get to the heroes, I'll explain why you want to be in combat on round 2. So what's next?
The next one is
Dhom-Hain.
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 Which is just... I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This book is just Eldar. This is... Yes. This is Samhain. Okay? There you go. I said it. All right. It's out of the way. The elephant is dead. But yeah, these are the ones that fight and they do lots of combat. They're all about combat.
They're the monster hunters. They live in the realm of beasts, which we forgot to talk about the webways, but they each have their own different realm that they live in.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Well, there's some that live there's some that you have 2 enclaves in one realm.
Right.
But yeah, they're for the most part, each enclave is sort of
some
tied
that
to
have
a
been
realm.
ousted because the rats are jerks.
I mean, it's a thing.
They're the bone splitters of the Deepkin.
Yeah. To be fair, there's also one that lives on the back of a turtle. So,
And guess what the rats did to that?
Yep, same thing. So we do. But yeah, so yeah, what's the ability that Dhom-Hain gets?
Well, so they're in the realm of beasts, so they're the monster hunters, and they're very savage, so that's why they can reroll failed wound rolls for Akhelian units if they target a monster. Which is pretty gross.
They also get something if they charge, right?
Yes, that's pretty gross, but by the same token, that's very situational.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Because you've got to get into combat with the monster.
Right.
And if your opponent's running a list that doesn't include a monster keyword, you lose that whole thing.
Yeah.
You lose that, but they also reroll hit rolls of 1 if they charge in the same turn.
Right, and that's what for their Akhelians and their Namarti.
And their Namarti.
Yeah, so
which
that's
is pretty much
pretty
everything but the heroes.
And the
or
Isharann.
the Isharann.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's good. Let's see. Up next, you have the Fuethan.
Bless you.
Yep. These are
Love the names.
Yeah, these are another. These are even more bloodthirsty.
These are my.
Tela looks like
my
she's
favorite.
holding in a laugh
know,
as
right?
we're trying to pronounce these names.
I shouldn't be so entertained by Seth, but I still am.
I don't know. What you're talking
We're all entertained by Seth.
And so, if you didn't pick up on it, they're called Fuethan. I'll give you 3 guesses as to which realm they live in. If you know anything about 40K, and the first 2 don't count. The realm of fire.
Azir. Damn it.
Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. First 2 don't count. So yeah, realm of fire for Fugan. Yeah. I'm just gonna harp on this because it's hilarious.
Actually.
Yeah. But yeah, these the Fuethan are they're one of the ones, or I guess the enclave that has considerably more Akhelian than Isharann.
Right.
And yeah, they're all about the fight.
Normally, the Isharann and the Akhelians are kind of like hand in hand,
equal,
not with the Fuethan.
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 Just it's Fugan with a TH instead of a G. That's
The Fugans.
Yeah, there you go. And then the other thing that I really like about their lore is that their Embalers, not only do they just, they're already going after crazy sea monsters, they go after the craziest of the sea monsters.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not just, they're not content with like regular Fangmora eels. They get the diamond-backed redfin Fangmora eels.
Or the tiger-striped
I read-
Allopexes.
Yeah.
I read that and I was like, I assume that's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Because I myself have never heard of one of those before.
I'm not quite
but
up to date on my fantasy underwater life lore,
Yeah,
but
anything diamondback is terrible.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like that about their lore. And of all of from a hobby standpoint, of all the ones, I love their colors the best. The reds and oranges, they look super cool.
Yeah. This is one of the ones that really changes the play style when you take their enclave, because they no longer benefit from the ebb tide.
Oh, wow.
You can reroll hit rolls of 1 if it's affected by the flood tide. However, if you are affected by the ebb tide, which I think is number 4, you just are affected by the flood tide, which means you can run and charge or shoot and charge. Ebb tide.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, ebb tide is the retreat and charge and shoot. Well, they don't do that. They just charge and
They just
run
keep going.
and- yeah,
They never ebb. They just
they
flood
never ebb.
constantly.
and that's why I love them.
So they're the storm surge. Is
yes.
what they are.
They
just
also
keeps
their
coming.
mounts reroll 1s on for wounds, which is
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, so that's going to be like your heavy Fangmora Allopex.
Oh yeah, I mean if you're taking regular Namarti, why?
Yeah. Speaking of that, Allopex model looks so cool.
Yes, it does. Yeah, those that want to run a cavalry army, Fuethan.
Yeah, Futhan's probably going to be pretty good for you.
I'll be sure to pass that on to Randy.
Yeah. The next one up is Mor'Phann.
They're definitely more fun.
Now,
Yeah.
that's the one that you were playing in the game we played, wasn't
That's
it?
the one I attempted to play. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Before we sandwiched you.
Before I got sandwiched by rats and fire slayers.
Right.
Crushed his hobby, and now he's leaving this
Yeah,
faction.
that's
I know,
exactly
right?
what it is.
There's nothing-
Very poorly timed. transition.
I actually feel bad because I feel like I had a part in doing this by hitting him from the other side.
No, he didn't make that decision until he saw the next morning of death, and then he freaked out and was just knocked the models off the table for Deepkin. He's done.
I did not. It did not happen that way.
He just dumped them in a box.
Yeah, they're in a sad little shoebox.
They were already in a shoebox.
So your Mor'Phann, they end up, they're from the realm of death.
They're your edgelords.
Yeah, they're pretty edge. And basically, the waters of their sea are oily and kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're all about shadow and all of. They're kind of your Heidi.
And they lost one of their Whirlways because of the Skaven.
Because of the Skaven.
Because they lost their sea.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't just lose a Whirlway. They actually lost an entire
Ocean.
enclave.
yeah.
Yeah, they I really like
Yeah, I was kind of working away back toward that.
Yeah, towards the rats.
They lost the Whirlway because they lost their sea, which caused them to lose an enclave.
Which also caused Nagash to go, oh, there's where all of the other souls have been going in this area.
Because when their Corellium got destroyed, Nagash is like,
Right.
oh, food? Hungry?
Well, they're the smart ones that are in Shaiish. So they are the realm of Shaiish. But that also, when the Isharann were learning the magics that were taught to them by Teclis, they morphed it more so to be soul-oriented, which is why we bring them to their command traits, which are disgusting. So this will make more sense when we talk about the Soulrender, but when the Soulrender uses his lure light, you add 3 to the number of models that are returned. That's gross.
Normally he returns D3, is that right?
It's D3 plus 1 for everything he's killed with his lure light. This just adds 3 to that, so it's D3 plus 3 plus whatever he's killed.
That's
Every
disgusting.
battle shock.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Which
good.
is why most people are going to run Mor'Phann if you want Namarti,
Yeah.
and if you want Beast, Fuethan.
Yeah. Mor'Phann's, I think, pretty good if you got.
Yeah,
If you're
and it also adds a different spell, which is really good.
that's
Units can only move 1 inch when it piles in. Any abilities that would increase that are ignored.
See a Sisters of Slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Casting value of 6. That's gonna go
going
off.
off frequently.
Yeah, every turn.
And I can't even stop it because, I don't play armies that have wizards.
Yeah,
Should play Stormcast. We'll talk about that next week.
Well, yep, that'll be next week.
yeah. Then you have so we got a couple more. Nautilar.
Keep us on target, Wes.
I know. I'm trying. I'm usually the one that messes it up. So
We're not even a third of the way through.
yeah, no. So Nautilar is they are one of the enclaves that is in Gyron, the Realm of Life, and when they started picking up all the chum and crap and broken temples and stuff that were in the upper levels of the sea, the Maitnar Sea in Gyron, all that stuff that would sink to the bottom, they started building their city. Unbeknownst to them, they were building it on the back of a creature called a Great Scaphodon. No idea what it is. I assume it's a giant turtle. That's my assumption.
It kind of seems like a giant turtle.
Yeah, because it
Pretty
talks about
big.
it talks about its shell. Yeah, but basically they've built this huge society on the back of this creature.
And they're still building it.
They're still building it, yeah.
Which
Even though
is-
Skaven ate a bunch of Swiss cheese holes in it.
Yeah, which just shows you how big this turtle is because they've been building it since they got down there.
Right. And
And
they
they're
still got room.
still building on
Well,
it.
it's probably still growing.
Yeah.
I mean, it does talk about how the
It
Great
was just a
Scaphodon-
baby when they first started building
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it also talks about how the Great Scaphodon's children are bigger than mountains. So, yeah, it's a big creature that they're building this thing on.
It's insane.
But yeah, I mean, they're
That's like a continent-sized creature.
yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, these are your more defensive, they're not going to go anywhere because why do they have to? Their cities are traveling with them, so they've figured out how to be very defensive, which comes out in the new magics that they get. Casting value of 4, which is crazy. Until your next hero phase, worsen the Ren characteristics of attack that target the unit by 1 to a minimum of none. That's pretty good.
And you just cast it on one unit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still a pretty good spell.
You pick the right unit.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, your unit's going to get charged, just cast it on them, and then lessen the Ren by 1.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. They're not the best.
No. And then finally, you have Briomdar, which are sort of your... We're still in Gyron, but they're your wood elves, basically. They're all about, seaweed and trees.
Yeah.
I don't remember what their special sauce is.
They can literally move through anything
Oh, yeah, that's right.
if it's not... even if they can't fly, they can just move through it.
Right, yeah. All
If
their
it's terrain
units-
features.
yeah, all their units that don't have the fly keyword still move.
Just move right through
but they
stuff.
can't
move
move
right.
over units that way.
Right,
Like
just
a fly
terrain
unit can move
features.
over units,
Right,
too.
can fly over them.
Yeah, so they can't move over units, but they can't move through terrain features as if they had the fly keyword. They just can't end up in it, I believe, is also stated.
Yeah.
So they have to be able to make it past it.
And they also, which this is part of the movement shenanigans, these are pretty good. The Soulscryers, which can normally take 2 friendly units off the board, can take 3 with them. And they can be set up wholly within 18 inches instead of 12.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so they can come in on any board edge in the movement phase with 3 other units.
And it's outside of 9 still.
Outside of 9 still.
Outside of 9. Yeah.
But within 18 inches gives it a whole huge...
Within
range.
18 inches of...
The Soulscryer.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's what I did against Randy when I turn 1 charged him. I just
Now,
came
now
behind his
is that
entire
anywhere
unit.
on the table or
Anywhere on the table.
or table edge?
Table edge. Any table edge.
So they have to be at the edge of the table, but within 18
I
inches
think
of
they
him.
can. I
From
think
what
they
I can remember.
leave from anywhere.
Yeah, I think they can go anywhere. Let me find it.
Well, we can get to
Yeah.
that when we.
I know, but you asked.
Well, because I was confused because it was like within 18 inches of him.
Yeah, edge of the battlefield.
So how close do you have to put him to the edge of the battlefield?
Within 6 inches.
Okay, so he's within 6 inches, and then they're within 18 inches of him.
They still
means
have to
they're
be
wholly
within...
within
Which means
They still have to be within 6 inches, but it's spread out.
Oh, it gives you a
along the
wider.
edge.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Because
They
if
have
you're
to be
taking
6
3
inches.
units, they all have to fit within
Yeah, they have to be
12
wholly
inches.
within,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if you're taking cavalry, not a big
Still,
deal.
I mean, you basically end up dominating a table edge.
Oh, yeah.
Good, yeah.
Where did you set up? I'm going to set up over there, too.
Yep. There's that objective over on the other side. I just took it.
You're slow.
Yeah. To which my dwarves say, it's all yours, because it'll take me the whole game to run over there.
Yeah. So what we got next?
Next we have, well, I don't know if we want to talk about it yet, the Whirlways.
We kind of touched on those. I mean, that's how they get
Yeah,
around.
that's how they get. Basically, I mean, we can just sum it up. It's Realmgates underwater.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So I guess they're Whirlways because, when they open up to travel, you get a little bit of whirlpool. So
Yeah. How did the rats get there? Did they take a whirl? No, they just dug through their.
We just dig through
just-
reality.
They dug through reality, and what did they find? Lots of water.
lots
I
of
mean,
water.
it's like playing Minecraft, Sometimes you're digging and you just run into lava and you die. It happens.
And
that story
the
is so
funny
much better
thing
now.
is, you probably had, several 100,000, if not 1 million Skaven drown.
Oh yeah.
But with the leaders, they don't care.
Oh, Skaven Blade didn't care.
No, what was it? Scritch Scratch or Screedle Scritch?
Snitter Scritch.
Snitter Scritch.
I don't remember his first name. It's like Scritch, Snitter Scritch or something.
Yeah.
Screedle Scratch.
Screedle Scratch. I mean, it's a Skaven name.
Yeah, he got done.
He got killed round.
Yeah.
Killed drowned.
Yeah, pretty much. Drown kill.
Let's talk heroes.
Let's do it.
Some of the best.
The Eidolons.
Some of the best heroes.
They're really good heroes.
Yes, they do.
I like the fluff behind the Eidolon. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like an avatar of the god, but it's not an avatar of the god.
Yeah. No, I mean, we talked about the Corelliums, I think, 2 weeks
We
ago,
did.
that hold the souls of all of their fallen Akhelians, and every time they call upon them, they can manifest any way they want to, but they always manifest as an Eidolon of Mathlann, and that is crazy to me. 2 different kinds: aspect of the storm, aspect of the sea. Aspect of the storm is your melee heavy, I'm going to get in there and kill stuff, shenanigans one, and the aspect of the sea is your caster. Aspect of the storm is great. By far the one most people use that I've seen. He's got decent attacks, but what gets it is with the Deepkin Tides, you get in there on turn 3, you blow stuff up, you take damage in the combat phase, turn 4 comes around, you retreat out of combat and charge back in and heal D3 wounds every time you do that. Yep. That's amazing. And they have 12 wounds, 12-inch movement, 3-up save.
So what I'm hearing from my tactics are don't just wound him, kill him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Always kill him.
Definitely kill him. We didn't talk about the prayers, but they do have prayers that can go off with the Isharann casters.
I think I've got that for us to cover a little bit further on.
Yeah. It's very synergist with the Eidolons when we get there, especially with the healing.
Yeah.
There's so much synergy. I mean, they are one of the classic elf factions, even though they're new, with all of the synergy that they have.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of an elf thing.
That's kind of an elf thing, yeah.
For sure.
Which is something that you didn't have a chance to actually utilize because, like I said, we were...
Oh, yeah,
at
such small
Glorians,
points.
Such low quote point value that you couldn't have all that stuff in there yet.
I mean, also, I didn't have to charge in a unit of 10 scouts into 6 Storm Fiends. So
I mean, it was 3 storms.
It was 3 storms.
felt like 6.
Oh, no, it didn't.
They always feel like 6.
They died like 6.
When there's one of them, it feels like 6.
Yeah.
Hey, to be fair, I did exactly the 10 wounds
You did.
that I needed.
You did.
And I think it was the next turn I took the Storm Fiends down.
You did take one down then. No, it took a while for them. They like one went down a turn after that.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
I dealt 5 wounds. So I almost killed one.
You almost killed one.
Almost.
That's right, because I sniped off the last one.
Yeah,
on
with a
that
hammer
one.
to the face. Or an axe.
Axe to the face, yep. The Akhelian Kings.
So good for their point cost.
Yeah, in terms of gameplay, they're ridiculous. Their lore is pretty cool, too.
Yeah, even when you're not cheating with how many weapons they have,
They
they're
still have too many.
still really
Yeah, they
good.
still have too many weapons.
Still really good.
And they don't really die. It's nuts.
No, I mean, a 3-up save on the first turn, it's a 2-up save.
Yeah.
If you have a turtle around, it's a 2-up save. I mean,
Basically ignoring one
one
rend.
Yeah.
So,
it's gross.
yeah.
Yep, they always come mounted on the deep mare, which is like the unicorn seahorse sort of thing.
Which is a cool looking model.
It's a cool looking model. And yeah, they have weapons for days.
Weapons for days. They can have a 4-up save and another weapon. Why not? The best thing about them, though, is their reroll of 1s, hit rolls of 1 for friendly Akhelian units while they're wholly within 12 inches of this model. That is so good. I mean, I don't know how many times you guys saw just, oh, let me roll. All right, 2 1s. Let me reroll these. Okay, they all hit. It's just gross.
Yep.
I am going to say this, though, that for some units, keeping that unit wholly within 12 can be difficult.
Yep. Especially after the pile-in and things like that.
Yep.
Well, you gotta think.
You can lose that pretty quickly.
Akhelian units are going to be your cavalry, your kings, and your turtle.
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be your Namarti.
Well,
So
that's
it's
true.
not going to be
That's
the big units of Namarti that you're going to have.
Right.
You don't have to really worry about it too
But
much.
that turtle's a big model.
That turtle is a big model. That turtle doesn't need rerolls to 1, but when he gets them, that's gross.
Then we've got High King Volturnos.
Volturnos.
God, he is like his lore is just
It's-
cool.
yeah.
Like how he lost his eye and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty neat. Like the little blurb box about him, the King of Kings. He's yeah, he's pretty great.
I mean, when you're bad enough to be the king of people who hate each other,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, and like everyone recognizes it.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to associate with you guys, but I like that guy. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's like one of the few remaining original Awakened.
Well, and he also stole his weapons from Teclis,
Right.
which, I mean, that's got to be some street cred right there. Like, yeah, I still got this stuff. What's he going to do about it? Nothing.
Yeah, and then he just like his war scroll is the Akhelian King just to 11.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And he's 40 more points in
Yeah, I
match
know,
play.
right?
40 more points for that. We didn't touch on the command ability, but for the regular Akhelian King, 1 unit adds 1 to the attack characteristics of melee weapons. Volturnos says pick 3.
Yep.
Pick 3
Oh,
and add 1 to that. And it's only on the Tides of Death High Tide turn. But if you do it right with Volturnos, you don't need another turn after that.
Yeah, there's not going to be any more turns.
yeah, that's you're just going to blend something
Yeah, it's multiple
or multiple
times.
things actually.
Yeah, his deep mare, I believe, does like 3 times as many mortal wounds, I believe, when it comes in.
Oh, his deep mare.
Yeah, as compared
yeah,
to the regular Akhelian King.
Yeah, the other one doesn't have the horns, I don't think.
Yeah, he does. He just does 1, I think.
Oh no, it's D3. I just never used that. Read your books, kids.
Yeah, usually
Read
helps.
your rules.
Read your rules.
We done with him?
Yeah.
because he's pretty sick and awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
he's
If you,
great.
read his lore, he's
All right,
fun.
and then you've got the Isharann Agents, the Tidecasters, the Soulrenders, the Soulscryers, and then of course Lotann. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so your Tidecasters are basically your wizards.
Yep. Which I can't stop because
Yeah, not too
I
much.
don't play armies that have wizards.
They have some great spells.
They do have.
They do have some great
cool
spells.
If I could find them, I don't know how books work.
They're before.
You turn pages.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have pages.
We have the pop up
We'll get
ones at
into
home for him.
we'll get into the spells when we get to.
Yeah, pop
back
up
to the
books.
content.
Yeah, just for setup.
Then you have your Soulrenders.
Oh, I found it. I was
found
looking
them.
for the
Oh, you're looking
ritual,
at rituals, yeah.
which includes all of the heroes.
The rituals are dumb. Good thing is you can only do 1 a turn.
You can only do 1 a turn, and it is a 2d6, and you need a 10 plus for the ritual to go off. But when everything adds together,
You can pretty much start at a 6.
right? So if you have a Gloomtide, add 1. If you're a hero, add 1. If you're a priest, add 1. If there's another hero, add 1. If that hero is also a priest, add 1. It continues to add up. Then you roll 2d6, and on a 10 plus, it's successfully performed. These are
Broken.
these are table wide, which is what makes them disgusting. Enemy units do not receive cover. Okay, that's really, really good.
Just
You
straight
have
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just no cover. The one I was talking about with the
utilize cover
Eidolons,
anyway.
this is disgusting for the C aspect. Heal 1 wound allocated to each Eidolon on the battlefield. Each one on the battlefield. In addition, reroll failed hit rolls and casting rolls for Eidolons until your next hero phase.
I mean, to be fair,
So you
you're
do
probably
that
only
before you
going to
do your
have
casting.
1. To be fair.
To be fair, but
Still,
heal 1 wound on your aspect of the storm and then he rerolls hit rolls. He retreats out if it's turn 4, charges back in, heals D3. He's also rerolling everything. He also charged, so his lance is dealing 3 damage instead of D3.
Oh, yeah.
Or you've got the aspect of the seat back there casting all of your OP C spells, and then let me just reroll it if I failed. Or the last one is enemy models cannot fly. Just straight up cannot fly.
You're grounded.
Yeah, just magnet spell. Like, what?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, now, the thing is, you have to prep your army to make that happen, or spike the roll.
Sure.
I mean, that's the one thing. Because if your army's not prepped to make it happen, because you got to have everything kind of clumped together to be able to get the massive bonuses towards
Which
it.
also makes all of that a target-rich environment for your opponent.
Oh yeah. Especially if you've got target all units within 18 inches or something like that.
Yeah.
Risk reward is very high with this army.
Foot of Gork or things, things like that.
You just start pounding stuff.
That can just bounce around.
Or like a new Stormcast model that can just explode for D3 to every unit within 3 inches of it, and just per thing that it does, it can do 3 at a time, something like that.
But how often do you get a whole bunch of multiple units within 3 inches of one model?
Right.
Not that often.
Depends on who you're playing.
Well,
and I'll leave it at that.
That's true, but I mean, I did get to live that dream once with my Grimwrath Berserker, because they've got it's not they don't do damage, but they get harder to kill.
Right.
The more units they're fighting, and Randy surrounded him with 4 units. So I was basically ignoring any wounds or mortal wounds on a 2-up until I started killing those units.
One by one.
One by one.
Might as well.
But so yeah, you can live the dream every now and then, but it doesn't happen that often.
I want to touch on this spell, and really, it's my favorite spell out of all of them. I mean, I'm sure there are better ones, but Arcane Corrasion. I'm saying that right?
At least it has to be the closest model.
Yeah, it has to be the closest model. Within 48 inches, measure the distance. If it's 12, 1 mortal wound. More than 12 but less than 24, 2. 24 to 36, 3. Or if it's up to 48, it's 4 mortal wounds. 48 inches, 4 mortal wounds. I really just want to sit one of those in the corner of the table and do nothing but cast this spell just over and over again.
Yeah.
Just because I just want to do it. I love the way the pushes forth a wave of etheric energy that picks up rubble from the ground and hurls it at the foe. It's like the most simple thing, but...
And that's when you use your movement shenanigans to drop a little cheap 100-point 10, 15-man unit down about 15 inches from him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's like, crap. Okay, pink.
Yeah.
You're useless now, thanks.
So yeah, then you have the Soulrenders, which are basically the guys that collect the souls when they go out on soul raids, and he can bring guys back.
Right.
In combat.
He's the one that if he hits with his lure light, he brings back 1 extra Namarti unit, which is Namarti unit. So that does include the Reavers as well.
Well, right, yeah. I mean, he wouldn't bring back Akhelians or
no,
because they have real souls.
But most people are doing it with the Thralls, which is understandable because they're better. But don't forget about the Reavers.
Yep.
Unless they get knocked out in 1 turn by rats.
And then you have the Soulscryers, which are basically your wayfinders.
Right.
And so, their kind of special thing in combat is they can pull models off the board and relocate them to different areas. Kind of following along with their lore.
I do like that they have an 18-inch range Scryfish Shoal attack.
Right.
That has 8 attacks. He just sends a swarm of fish at you, and they peck you and die.
Yeah.
It's 5/5, deals 1 wound, but it's hilarious. It's
still funny.
Yes. I love the idea of it.
And then finally you have the named character, Lotann, Warden of the Soul Ledgers. I don't know, does he cast spells in his rules?
No.
No, okay. So he's basically a mix of a Soulrender and a Soulscryer, kind of. Yeah. He has a book, and he keeps up with whose souls are in the Corellium.
He's really, he's there to reroll hit rolls of 1 for Namartis. He is the Akhelian King of the Namartis.
Right.
Pretty much.
And he has an octopus.
He does. And he's the only...
You bring him for that alone.
He's one of the only mortal wound ignoring things in this army, because the octopus just ignores mortal wounds on a 5+.
Right.
Just because it's so squishy, it just kind of gives with it.
He's got many more legs.
Yeah.
He's got 6 attacks with his tentacles, and then one's holding a cudgel, one holding a blade. So.
I'm just going to make the point. Shouldn't it have been 8?
No, he's got one holding a cudgel and one holding a blade. And then 6 tentacles.
Yeah.
So he has 8.
Okay. And they had to make it 6 because of all the influence that Slaanesh had on these people.
No, we're not going there.
Yeah, that's Slaanesh's
They
number.
are free from the taint.
That is Slaanesh's number.
They're not free.
Not at all.
None of the taint.
We're about to all be tainted if you look at the new...
Oh, yeah, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. We'll talk about that next week. Just going to start putting notes.
So basically, you move on into your units at this
Units.
point. Yeah, I mean, we'll kind of skip through these pretty quickly, but you have your cavalry, which are your Akhelians.
Yeah, I mean, it's really simple. You have riding sharks, riding eels, and riding turtles.
Yep.
They all do what you think.
Yeah, they do some varied things with the eels. There's some that kill better, there's some that defend better.
There's a good reason that I'm not doing this army, because I would end up building the most useless list.
Because it would look so
Because
cool.
it would look so freaking cool
The
combined.
models do look so cool.
Oh no, my whole army for this would be nothing but Allopexes. Like just an army of sharks and turtles. That would be my army.
Yeah. And you would lose
I'm thinking
every
I'd go
game.
for the eels.
Every game.
It'd be great.
I'm thinking I'd go for the eels.
Yeah, I'd probably have some eels in there.
Because
Yeah.
they look pretty
The
freaking
sharks
awesome.
look way cooler though.
Yeah, the sharks do look cool.
yeah.
I'm not going to lie. The sharks do look cool.
Like I'm gonna buy one of the sharks just to use as a D&D monster. 'Cause they look awesome.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's an air shark.
I mean, all you need,
I know, right?
an Akhelian King makes the Akhelian unit of the Eel Riders battle line. So you can run an entire army of Akhelians, which is, if you go back to the lore, part of their, what do you call those? Battalions.
Yeah.
So you got a battalion of the Akhelians, and then you mix it with a battalion of the Namarti, and there you go. Good
Yeah,
to
I
go.
mean, you could you just run Fuethan and just nothing but just tons and
Just
tons,
tons
of
of
cavalry.
cavalry.
Pretty much.
You could probably get 30 models on the board, I bet.
Yeah, and you take a Soulscryer to take, like I did, 2 of those off the table.
Move around.
And then his ability gives him 3 inches on the charge. The Eel Riders can reroll charges. You can make some stuff
yeah,
happen.
you could get some damage in before you disappear.
Yep.
And then sort of your base battle line, of course, are the Namarti, which I think they're super cool. I love
They're
their
anything
lore.
but base, though.
Yeah.
These are
They're
elite
pretty-
base.
Yeah, they're pretty gross. But I like their lore. The fact that they don't have eyes, like they just have skin holes instead of eyes, and like there's one little story, I don't remember where it was at in the book, that talks about Namarti that were like coming through a shipwreck and they get attacked by some Skaven.
Yeah.
But it says that, like you can just imagine what it looks like. It says even though they didn't have eyes, their heads are darting around. You can imagine just like this, like a real like.
So weird.
Good radio there.
I know, right? No, that was for you guys. That was for you guys.
Wes closes his eyes and shakes his
I know,
head
and we're
around
talking
for the
about
radio.
Hellboy too much lately, but I imagine them like Abe when he's
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
and he's holding his hand out, like looking around, like that's
Right.
what I imagine.
That is what I imagine them like too.
Or the creature from Labyrinth with the eyes.
Oh God, no.
They were both created by the same guy.
But yeah, no, I really enjoy.
Same thing.
I really enjoy their lore, like because they're the ones. They're the Namarti are the reason that the Idoneth are so horrible. Like
Yeah, that's
they're
precisely
the
why.
broken soul. 99%, basically.
I mean, yeah, they're the I eat because I'm unhappy because I eat.
Right.
I need more souls, but you die when I go to get more souls, so I need more souls to bring you back.
Right.
All their fault.
Yeah, but they're cool looking models to begin with, just
Yeah, they are.
from a modeling standpoint. A lot of times your base units are like a little boring. Nah, not these guys. They look
And even cooler,
awesome.
you don't have to paint eyes.
Yeah, that's the best part. That is by far the best part.
I know. I would.
It just means the eyes
Tina's
on your,
just shaking her head.
No,
at
I
us.
paint eyes first. Like eyes are my favorite thing.
Oh my God, I hate eyes.
He hates them.
It just means
I
that the
loathe
eyes on your
eyes.
Akhelians and your Isharann have to be so top shelf because they're the only ones you have to worry about.
From the tabletop rule, you can't see the eyes from the tabletop. I'm not worrying about it.
That's true. You can't. That's the only time I take Mike's 12-inch rule into effect. It's like, you can't see eyes.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm like, no, you have to. It's
The
gotta look good
vast
close.
majority of
No.
my models, the eyes aren't really painted.
Unacceptable.
It's totally acceptable.
There's a really cool way that you can do eyes where you use like a shade, and it actually, unless you look at it directly in front of your face, looks like there's an eye in there. And that's how I paint eyes.
No, there's a really cool way you can do eyes.
You do it too. It's just a wash. It's simple. Actually, it's an ink, but whatever.
They make paintbrushes with like one little hair.
Yeah.
No, they make Winsor and Newton Series 7 brushes with that. Oh, God. I'm looking at the Allopex right now. It's such a cool model. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I love his mouth.
Okay, do we want to, because we've kind of gotten into, as we were talking about what they actually are, also some of their rules. Do we want to go ahead and talk about we already talked about spells and prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to go ahead and talk about artifacts and the scenery model.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's talk about that one artifact,
and then
Wes.
we can
let's talk about
let you
artifacts,
talk
yeah.
about the painting.
I mean, the painting is basic.
We'll get to that.
To be fair,
No, it's not basic. Don't. I know it's not basic to you. You're going to figure out some cool ways to do stuff with them.
well, no, but I'm saying the painting stuff that they give you in here. It's like I'm loving this about Battletomes now because it's almost like your book has. You remember the old Citadel How to Paint Citadel miniatures books? Yes. It's like each book has the how to paint your army in that kind of step by step, this Citadel paint system sort of way.
Right. Right.
Which is, and it's, it doesn't show you like just how to paint skin, like it shows you how to paint weapons. It shows you how to, like, heck, for each enclave, step by step, there's a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 5-step process that they give you for each enclave on how they get those color schemes, that's amazing that you don't, they're not making you think about it like, oh yeah, I really like those reds and oranges, but what color should I use?
But how do I do that?
Here they are.
Here it is.
You know the one thing that kills me about this? Let's paint Akhelian skin. Reikland flesh. Flayed one flesh. Witch flesh. Rhinox hide. White scar. Rhinox hide. Blood for the blood god. Okay. Where are the new paints that are literally called Namarti skin?
Oh, because those are for the Namarti, not the Akhelian.
This is the same thing, though.
No. These are Akhelians. Akhelians
But they don't have Akhelian paint in here.
They don't have a Namarti paint in here yet.
Yeah, that's what I
Well,
mean.
yeah, I don't know why they didn't put Namarti in. Well, they do.
But they just don't have the paint for it.
Yeah, they do. If you go back and look at painting each enclave, like how to paint.
It's because
Ionrach.
Namarti flesh is really Reikland flesh.
Slightly different.
I mean, they're pretty tanned. No, but if you're looking at painting your,
I don't even know where you're at on this.
this is page 74.
I'm just sitting over here having a good time, laughing, watching Seth flipping through the
Like
digital
furiously
book.
flick this.
The pages are going so fast I can't even see them.
Where's it at?
I don't know, but one of y'all needs to say something.
I don't know.
76, didn't he?
No, he said 74.
I'm trying to find one that actually uses the new paint.
Exactly.
Y'all keep talking while I read.
Let's talk artifacts
We're
while
gonna be
he's
here
hunting a
while.
paint.
All right, so let me tell you the story about why Wes hates the artifacts for the Idoneth Deepkin. My sandwich.
All right, before you go on, to be fair, none of them, I just looked at all 6. You're either using Rakarth flesh, or you're using Ulthuan Grey, or you're using Pallid Witch flesh. None of them use the new Ionrach
So
skin.
right?
don't buy the new paint.
Oh,
wait,
the new
no,
paint's
we
totally
didn't say
cool.
that.
The new paint's totally cool, just apparently not for this.
Yeah, I already bought the new paint for the models I'm not playing. So
why Wes hates this army?
So I got sandwiched, and all of my army died except for my Akhelian King, who was between a full-powered Fireslayer army and a full-powered Skaven
To
army.
be fair, I was down a Stormfiend. Okay.
A Stormfiend. No, not at this point. This was before he axed you in the face.
To be fair,
You cast the
I
thing
was
when I
full
only had
power.
2 Stormfiends left.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, God, you had 3 of those things?
I thought it was
So-
6.
So many.
It's 9.
So many of those things. So he turns, for some reason, decides
Seemed
to
like
shoot
6.
my poor...
I was literally going to
Akhelian
unload.
King.
I was literally going to unload 2 Stormfiends with rattling cannons, my Arch Warlock, and 2 Doom Wheels into your Akhelian King.
Overkill 100%. Except I had taken, because I took this against Randy and it was beautiful. He had me surrounded by lizard men. And combat phase, he picked up all his dice and I said, no, just put him back down. Because once per battle, at the start of any phase,
Artifact, just tell your opponent to put their dice down.
it's essentially what it is. It's called the Cloud of Midnight. If they do so, they cannot be chosen as the target for attacks, spells, or abilities for the rest of that phase. Granted, they can't do anything either, but it saves you from 66 rattling shots coming at you.
Yeah.
So
And all the other shooting that was
and
going
all
to
the
come
other
at you.
shooting, yeah, the whole shooting phase, nothing else.
Yeah, basically the entire shooting phase. My army, like I moved into place to be like at max range for all of my guns, and he just goes, "Nope."
Nope.
I was like, "This is dumb."
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome, actually.
And then I
Not gonna lie.
proceeded to die like immediately after that,
Not
regardless.
from me. Not from me.
But I still died.
Mike killed you. I didn't kill you.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if that was like a once per round
Nope.
ability.
That's just
Right.
one
Because it
per
was like,
battle.
oh my
God,
god,
if that was he could use that every round, that would be
It'd be
broken as all get
it would
out.
be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
No, it would be so broken it wouldn't even be awesome. At that point, you'd be like, I would
It would
feel
be,
bad.
It should be once per round in a multiplayer game.
I'm okay with that. Let's change that rule. I'm playing Idoneth again.
no,
No.
absolutely not.
No, I'm just
Because
gonna
it's just for that phase. So if it's multiplayer, it's once per round. So that phase, whether it's your turn or one of the people's turn, everybody else's turn, they're going to be able to shoot at you or whatever.
Sure. Yes.
I think I literally I stopped reading it that one, and it's the only one I've used in every single game because
It's really good.
yeah.
That's actually that's really good.
Yeah, so I'm going to say let's take a quick backup here and look at the allegiance ability. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep,
So-
sounds good.
Yeah. Well, before that, enclave. You pick an enclave if you want to,
Right. Don't have to.
don't have to,
as per
you can.
usual.
and you can paint up and say you have an enclave that works like this enclave, but isn't.
But is
That
whatever
makes
you
me-
want to call
'cause
your
I
own
wanna-
enclave.
Yeah, because I want to paint neon purple and
Which is awesome
Yellow.
that they do that for narrative play, because then you can create your own named enclave and all
do
of that
it. You
stuff.
can do it for match play too.
I was
Well,
gonna
yeah,
have,
but I mean, it's
neon
for a
green.
narrative. It's
Green, yeah.
really cool.
neon green and neon orange was going to be mine.
That's ugly.
No, it was beautiful.
Nah,
You
The
wouldn't listen.
idea that I had was beautiful.
I'm sure it was.
Don't hate.
I'll be that guy. Nah, man, you paint your.
Doesn't
plastic
matter when you're in
men-
a cloud of midnight.
You paint your plastic man the way you want to paint your plastic man. That's your
I'm
call.
about to just splash green paint all over the new ones that are coming in.
Oh, God.
Done.
I just dip them in a stain and
Yeah.
they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, the new death stuff. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna talk about that in weeks to come.
Tila's doing the gun.
Yeah. She was like, I want to leave now. All right, battle traits.
It hurts. It hurts.
With good radio, you have to say it. Like just shoot me now.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it was,
Dip
it was
'em in a
for you.
wash,
Like,
dump 'em
no,
in a
stop
box.
talking.
Yep.
Good to go.
All right, so battle traits from the Allegiance abilities. Forgotten Nightmares. This is really cool. Missile weapons can only be used to target Idoneth Deepkin unit with this battle trait if it is the closest visible unit.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yes.
For them, you can actually screen and do like actual combat tactics, unlike every other army in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I think that's going to be irrelevant though.
I think it is too. I don't know if it's going to be irrelevant, but I have a feeling new edition will.
I
address
think you're going to
something
be able
similar.
to screen at least somewhat.
Yeah, a little bit. Then you have your Tides of Death. Idoneth Deepkin units with this battle trait, which I believe is all of them, have different Tides of Death ability each battle round, as shown on the Tides of Death table. We've talked about this a little bit, but we'll go over its specifics right now. So in battle round 1, it is Low Tide. In this battle round, all units with the Tides of Death battle trait are treated as being in cover. That's nice. So as you're moving up, you got +1 on your save.
Just don't run.
Yeah. Just don't run or charge. Next, you have, and they've got 8-inch movement or something for the Reavers?
For the Reavers,
Yeah, that's
have 8
great,
inch, yeah.
man.
Everything else is like the cavalry is like 12, 14. I mean,
Right, yeah.
just gross.
Turn 2.
12 and 14.
Yeah. Turn 2 becomes the Flood Tide. In this battle round, all units with the Tides of Death battle trait that run can still either shoot or charge in the same turn, but not both. So you can run and shoot, or you can run and charge.
Both of which is pretty
Really
awesome.
useful, yeah.
Yeah.
Third battle round is High Tide. In this battle round, units with the Tides of Death battle trait fight before any other unit in the combat phase. Fight with all eligible Idoneth Deepkin units, one after the other, and then resolve any fights with any other units. So you don't have to have charged in the third round. If you got into combat in the second round, when the third round rolls around, all of your junk still gets to go first.
Yep.
Now, is that in both battle turns? Or is that in both turns of
That
the battle
is,
round? Yeah. 'Cause
That
that's
is for the
round.
battle
That is
round.
a
That's
combat phase.
super great.
All eligible ones.
Yes, that means
And it's not on your turn in round 3.
Yeah, you're pretty much
It's in battle round 3.
You're precluding your opponent from charging you like turn 2 and turn 3.
Yeah.
Because they know that's coming.
They're going to get hit first.
Yeah. which is
You may even cause some opponents to retreat out of combat.
yeah, you might. And then finally, the fourth battle round, is the Ebb Tide. In this battle round, all units with the Tides of Death battle trait that retreat can still either shoot or charge in the same turn, but not both. So once again, useful for positioning, grabbing objectives, that kind of thing.
You get all of those initial attacks and weaken them, and then you back up and then get your
back up,
bonuses
yep.
for charging again on the units that get bonuses.
And then you repeat the 4 Tides of Death steps, starting with a low tide after from the 5th round on. Now, there are heroes and different things you can do that cause the tides to go in different orders.
Right, the Isharann priest.
You can mess with the moon.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
She reverses it. So you start with the retreat.
Right.
And then on turn 2, you've got High Tide, which is just disgusting.
Yeah.
The cavalry units with that, I mean, they're going to get in there on the first turn. And then...
back out and charge again.
And then, no, turn 2, you're first.
Yeah.
Like, in turn 2, that is disgusting. What else we got?
Yeah, then you move to command traits. These are sort of... they're flavored up, but they're kind of your basic ideas. You know, there's only so much you can do. You got one that increases wounds. Although, the Born from Agony increases the general's wound characteristic by 2.
Yes.
Not 1. Most other armies,
Most
it's 1.
others, 1.
So that's pretty good.
I think that's the one I pick every time just so I survive.
Yeah. You've got Unstoppable Fury. Add 2 to the attack's characteristics of any weapons used by this general in any battle round in which High Tide ability is in effect.
Which makes, let's see, the Akhelian King, I think he has 4 attacks with his spear.
So that's 7.
And then, yep.
If he uses the command ability.
If he uses command ability on himself, he'll add 1 to that. And then 2 more.
Oh, yeah, because he does. You do have to pick units with it. That's right.
He
Yeah.
just picks himself. Which is just gross, because if you charge that turn, it's 3 damage straight.
Yeah.
And you're re-rolling 1s, and I think it's a 3-up, 3-up.
So you have just one
And minus
weapon?
2 rend.
So
No,
the only time
he's got
you
more.
can't. The only time you
Okay,
can't use one of these.
But
go ahead.
doesn't that say any weapons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To any weapon.
Any...
Weapons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you add 2 to all of his weapons.
That's pretty dumb.
Not just his spear.
That's very
You're
dumb.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That makes putting up the shield and
Seth's
pulling
gonna
out the
play the
Falchion.
Idoneth again
Yeah,
now.
right.
Yeah, once again, it's only on turn 2 or 3, depending on where you've got High Tide at. Which
That's
is
the downside. But then
Yeah.
again, I mean,
if you can position and feint
If you can
yourself
position and live the
until
dream,
turn 3,
it's going to be sick.
yeah, I mean, you go from like hedge clippers to a lawnmower to the lawnmower from what's that
To a
movie?
backhoe.
Yeah.
You know where she Waterboy, where she fixes up the lawnmower and it tears up down the road.
Yeah.
That's
So the only
dream.
time you can't pick one of these command traits is if you
Or go
do
with Lawnmower Man.
Ionrach, because they have
No.
a command trait they have to take.
Right.
Or if you have Volturnos, he's named. Or Lotann. The named characters don't
The
get it.
name characters couldn't get it.
You've got several different artifact lists. You've got
like 4.
you've got an Akhelian hero list. You've got a Deepkin hero list to pick from.
the Isharann
You got an
hero
Isharann
list.
hero list.
And then you've got the arcane.
Yeah, and then you have the ones for the wizards that are, not really going to go into all those because
Yeah,
That's a
there
lot
is
of artifacts.
yeah, but basically you can
get the book and read over them.
Yeah.
That are.
You can-
It's like any artist. Some of them, at least from my perspective, are.
there's probably 3 or 4 that are really choice, and then a couple that are like, ugh, why would that doesn't even need to be in there?
Yeah, I do love the. I know what Lawnmower Man is.
That's random.
I know, right? Great
You
radio.
go play the podcast back. It won't be random.
My
Listen to what he
favorite
said.
one from the Wizard, and I want to run the Wizard one more time. I almost can't say that very well. Is for the Kraken Tooth. Once per battle, in the shooting phase, pick an enemy unit within 12 inches, roll a dice, and look up the result. On a 1, you suffer D3. 2 to 5, the enemy unit suffers D3. On a 6, it's called a tasty morsel. Pick one model in the enemy unit. That model you pick is slain if it had a wound characteristic of less than 10, and 2d6 if it has wounds characteristics greater than 10.
Oh, so you just
Jeez.
Just kill it.
you can just
straight
kill
up.
you just kill a hero with that.
Yeah.
You can kill some of the monsters.
Kill some monsters with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a once per battle? Or is
That is a once per battle.
Now you have to roll a 6.
Once
Oh, you
per
get
battle
roll a
within
6,
12
you get
inches, roll a 6.
Oh, that's a lot like a brass orb for Scryer.
Yeah.
You once per turn roll a 6.
Yeah,
just
2
automatically dead.
to 5 they take D3 mortal wounds.
D3 mortal wounds.
That's
But
not really
but
worth
if
taking.
you spike
If you
that
live
6,
dream,
No, it's not worth taking, but
No. It's like the brass sword or
it's
something.
amazing.
yeah, I am not going to let Randy play this army because he'd spike that 6 every
Yeah,
time.
every time.
There's a spell that I really like, depending on what type of army you're playing against. If you're playing against one of those armies that really stays bricked up, Vorpal Maelstrom is pretty good. Casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick a point on the battlefield within 18 inches of the caster that is visible to them. Roll a dice for each unit within 3 inches of that point. If the dice roll for a unit is less than or equal to the number of models in the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So you got those armies that really kind of brick up, to get all their synergies. You could just drop that right in the middle of it, and you might hit 5 or 6 units that have pieces of them within, 3 inches of that point.
Yep.
So that's definitely a situation, depending on the type of army, if you know your
depending
opponent
on
really well.
what you're playing against. All right, what do we got left?
I don't know.
I guess we should talk about the shipwreck.
Yeah, we need
that's
to talk about the
special
shipwreck.
thing. So basically,
love that thing.
They make it sound like there's probably going to be more of these terrain pieces that come out, because it's not that you get 2 Gloomtide shipwrecks. You get 2 etheric vortexes, of which the Gloomtide shipwreck is an etheric vortex. So all Gloomtide shipwrecks are etheric vortexes, but not
I think
all
we're going to
etheric
see
vortexes.
more scenery stuff with the new edition, and I think they were prepping for that.
I think so. But basically, you get 2 of these. It's sort of like Sylvaneth forests are, but you get 2 that you can put down anywhere after terrain is set, but before people pick sides. Like, all those rules are the same as they are for the Sylvaneth Allegiance ability. But this scenery piece is, not only does it look really cool, it's
it
quite
does.
large, but it's nasty. So it has a couple of features. One is Guardians of the Deep. Roll a die. Each time a wound or mortal wound is allocated to an Idoneth Deepkin unit wholly within 6 inches of this terrain feature. On a 6, that wound is negated. So if your guys are in and around these boats, they get some more survivability.
6 up ignore.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then this was the fun one. Predators of the Ether Sea. At the start of your hero phase, roll a die for each unit within 3 inches of this terrain feature. Do not roll for Idoneth Deepkin units. On a 4+, the unit suffers a mortal wound. On a 6+, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds instead. So it's not like a spell that you have to do like it is with Sylvaneth. Like, if your people just get close to this thing, they're done.
They're taking damage.
Yeah, I love the idea, and I think it was the Skaven when you were talking about where the fish darts out and takes the bolt for the Deepkin.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
his 6-up roll
Yeah.
as a fish just gets blasted.
Pretty much.
Okay. And this is a scenery piece.
Mm-hmm.
So rules dealing with scenery apply.
No, they do not. It specifically says, do not roll on the scenery table.
No.
Oh,
That's not what I meant.
Oh, you meant like for...
If you move into it, you could theoretically get cover.
You could, yeah.
But my real point being that a lot of the battle plans where you get to pick where you're placing your marker, your objective marker,
Oh, you could put it in
you could
the
put it
scenery.
in that,
yeah.
and then if your opponent goes to claim it, they're taking
They're gonna
damage.
take damage, yeah.
Just for trying to claim the objective.
That's, yeah. See, this is why I don't win games. I don't think like that. It would take me like 5 times a use to be like, oh, I could do that, and that'd be a real, like...
He would think about it after I did that to him.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You're like, oh,
Like,
that's cheesy.
That's terrible. Awful person.
I am an awful person.
So then, yeah, after that, you kind of go into the different enclaves and what their special rules are, which we've gone over.
We kind of hit on it.
Yeah.
The
The battle plans...
The battle plans.
I don't want to go over each
yeah.
one individually. I just want to say, I want to play all of these battle plans
Then they're cool.
before you get rid
They're
of
pretty cool.
your guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's too late.
these-
You already got rid of them.
Yeah, I know. Well, before they're actually gone. Like, because these battle plans are super cool. The one where your guys, the incoming tide, where none of the Idoneth are on the board.
Yeah.
Like, you look at it, it says, the defender's territory is the
Nothing.
entire board.
Board.
And your goal as the Idoneth is to try and come on from one side and get your units off the other side. It's like basically they're coming through and killing the defenses and trying
But
to get
also
to...
one of your win objectives as the Idoneth is after a certain battle round, you just leave. And if you can get a certain amount out, then you win
You
too.
just win.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a different battle plan.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah.
thought it was this one.
Yeah, this is the one where you only get a major victory if you wipe out the other army.
Oh, you use a minor victory.
Yeah, you
sorry.
get a minor victory if you
victory.
get more than half
That's
your
still a
army off.
win.
Yeah.
in my book.
Oh yeah.
I'll take a minor victory.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then the harvest, like basically you could tie these together in one long narrative. The next one is the harvest, and that's where you've like, all right, we made it through the original defenders. Now we're coming to get
Now
the
we're
souls.
getting the souls.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. And it's the battlefield is set up with what do they call them? They call them population markers, and you have to get close to them to affect them. And if you can get more population markers than your opponent, you win. That's a pretty neat one, just the way it's set up. The pursuit is interesting. This is the one where you're trying to get away. It's like you've gotten the souls, and now they've like the people that are left are like, oh no,
you came in,
you
you beat your way through the defenses, you gathered the souls, now you're taking them back.
Yeah. But yeah, that one looks cool. Then they go in. Of course, you got some Path to Glory. The Path to Glory that's in this book seems fair, unlike some that we've seen from other books.
Death.
Right.
We won't mention your name, Death. You broken thing. But
Legions of Nagash.
The only thing
like
I don't like about it, though, is that you can't get the new heroes.
You can't.
Or you can't get the other ones. You
Right, you
only
can't
get
get
the
all the
Soulrender and the one you started with.
Yeah, no. Yeah. A lot of books are like that, though. They have some limits based on...
Not
So you
death.
don't... Yeah, not death. Then let's see here.
Death does what it
The
wants.
other... They have a battle plan that's for Path to Glory / Skirmish that I think is also super cool. The one with the ship.
Yes.
And all the Idoneths start in this space around, and they can jump on the boat, and they can swim under the boat, and just got some neat mechanics that you can pull with that one. It looks like it could be fun, and they've got a variant for a smaller board if you want to do it in skirmish. It looks super cool. And this is one thing we've talked about in other battle tomes is they've got tactics for each. Well, I don't know if it's each, but for several of the enclaves of like how to build your army, what models to take that work, and we've talked about that.
How to play it, what you want, what your goal for your battle should be, what you're trying to accomplish with the different units and the different enclaves.
Which we've talked about is super great for players that are just getting into the game, or players like me that can read War Scrolls all day long and still not know how things go together.
Yeah.
Like I can understand what the synergies say, but I still can't actually make it work. These are like great for me. I'm like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do that. I should do that instead of putting all of my units in the corner of the board facing the wrong way.
I should put the objective in my ship.
Right, yeah, exactly. And then we move into War Scrolls. You've got sort of the same thing here that we've been seeing.
And
These are pretty
we've covered
basic.
we've covered
Right,
most of the
so what is it?
the rules for the
Battalions.
and
4 battalions.
5 battalions.
Is it 5?
Yeah,
Okay.
counting the alliance with the Sylvaneth.
Right.
Because you've got the Royal Council, and then you've got the Akhelian Corps, the Namarti Corps, the Phalanx, and Alliance of Woodensea.
Yeah, so once again, you're not having the 15 battalions because your battalions have been rolled backwards in the book towards, in this case, enclaves.
Right.
Which is a trend that I really like.
Me too.
It would just be really cool if everyone got that.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
So there's that.
How because I didn't actually look at the point costs. How are the point costs for the battalions
That's
in their
good
match
question.
play?
I didn't look at the battalions.
I'll tell you.
They're pretty average.
100 to 140.
That's not horrible though.
No, they're cheaper than a lot of others.
Yeah. You can usually squeeze out 100 extra points to pull in a battalion.
Yeah, especially when you look at the points for Idoneth in general, they are cheap.
Yeah.
The Eidolons are expensive, and they're probably, to be fair, expensive for what they do. But Volturnos is not expensive for what he does.
Not at all.
He's cheap at 280.
Yeah, less than 300 points for them all.
Holy cow.
280 for Volturnos.
280.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I know you can't pick a command trait because he's named, but I don't know how you're not taking him as your leader
Yeah.
at 2,000 points. He's sick. He's too good.
that's
Yeah, even the Allopex is 140. That thing is good. You can have a unit of 4 of those.
yeah. Seth, you need to play about a 1,500 point game before you decide to get rid of those
Oh,
guys.
I know, right?
Because at 1,500 points, you're going to be fielding the equivalent of me fielding about 2,300. And my Fire Slayer points went down.
Yeah, did you notice in the new edition stuff, it's like, yeah, we're going to be making point adjustments for some things.
Yes. Yeah, Fire Slayers are
It's like,
getting
could
an
you just have said
adjustment
we're
up.
going to make point adjustments for Fire Slayers, please?
Did you see that they did FAQ the Thrall icon?
Yeah, I saw. I couldn't see where it said it, but what did they change it to? Because that is one thing that
It
is
does
pretty
say,
interesting.
so for those that don't know, the Namarti Thralls, it says models in this unit can be icon bearers. You can reroll battle shock tests. In addition, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of an icon bearer. What it does not say is that only one model can be an icon bearer. It just says models
in
can
this
be.
unit can be.
So what people
you
were
could make
doing-
a unit
Of icon bearers.
of icon
They
bearers.
were making 10 icon bearers or 20 or 30, and they all had an extra attack, which
Yeah.
put them at 3 attacks or 4 attacks if they were going against a 1 wound model.
Right.
They FAQ'd that almost immediately. So now it says 1 in 10.
Ah, yeah. Well, because, okay, if you think about it, the interesting thing about this War Scroll, if you haven't seen it, is most War Scrolls say, you know, you've got really cool guy X that is the leader of this unit, and he gets an extra attack.
Right.
Right.
And you have people that can be icon bearers or banner bearers or whatever, and somebody who could be a musician. You have all those different options, right? Well, with these guys, you don't have any of those options. It's just the icon bearer. There's no leader of the unit. And so it's like the icon bearer is the leader and the banner bearer
banner
all
bearer.
in one.
Yep.
And yeah, I see why they wrote it the way they did, because like that's how
Right.
we've always written icon bearers, and then they realized, oh wait, we didn't give it a leader.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it needed to be fixed.
Yeah, it did.
Because yeah, I would just slap fish and other whatever I could. If people were like, "Oh, you got to be WYSIWYG with it," I'd be like, "Fine, I'll just slap whatever I can for
Yeah,
a
I'll
banner."
say,
right.
I'll say the same thing I say to anyone that tells me WYSIWYG is, show me in the rules where it says I have to be WYSIWYG.
No, well, okay. I'm going to make my argument that I haven't made about this yet. It says you have to be an icon bearer. If you don't have an icon on you, you're not an icon bearer.
My weapon's my icon.
No, your weapon is a Lanmari blade.
I fight with my icon.
Nope, that's not what your War Scroll says. But no, yeah, I agree. Like when you get nitpicky over it, like with
Now I will say that because
Not you get nitpicky.
we are more narrative
Yeah.
style players. So I will say this: if I were going to a competitive tournament,
oh yeah,
yes, I'm going to tell the guy, "Wait, your entire unit is icon bearers. Wear their icons."
right.
Right.
Okay,
Because that is-
that you're gaming the system.
That's giving
for
you
an
a huge
advantage-
benefit.
for an advantage
Yeah.
in the tournament.
You're catching 9 attacks.
If I'm playing someone in a narrative game and they just want to tell me the entire unit's icon bearers,
but they can't do that
okay,
now.
well they
anyway.
can't do that now because it's been FAQ'd. But,
Yeah, but-
if that were the case, okay, that's fine. I know that now.
I do, and I am looking forward to the next time we do a narrative now that we've all switched again.
Oh yeah, I can't wait
I'm still
to do.
doing Fire Slayers.
Yeah,
Oh, we know you are.
yeah. No, he'll probably be doing
Because he's...
Lords next time.
Yeah, right.
I'll switch back to my Stormcast because they're getting some awesome.
Oh, my God.
Oh my god, it's so cheesy. New Storm. So yeah, we'll be able to talk. We'll have hopefully a lot of information come out because a little bit has rolled out. They said some of the new rules are going to roll out
I
tomorrow.
thought they said they were going to release stuff like daily.
they have.
They have.
Yesterday.
How have I been missing it?
Well, yesterday was Night
Have
Haunt.
I not been informing you?
Yeah.
This is all I
Yesterday-
do while I'm at work.
Yesterday was Night Haunt faction focus. Today
What was
was
today?
Stormcast
The
faction
Stormcast.
focus. And then in that article with the Stormcast at the very end, it said they'll be talking about some of the new rule changes tomorrow.
Okay, where is this on the community?
It's on
Warhammer
community, yeah.
community.
Okay, all right.
And
all
it
right.
seems that the new stuff for us comes out about.
I think I
1
saw the
o'clock
Night
Eastern.
Haunt, and I didn't, and I
Give or take.
actually didn't connect that with the new edition.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
So I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, they're supposed to be releasing an article about new edition, but
Well, there hasn't technically been any new edition stuff yet. Just the new armies.
the new
right,
stuff,
yeah, I got it.
They kind of talked about, and the new war scrolls do look really cool.
They do look nice.
Just the aesthetic
Oh
changes. on
yeah,
them.
the aesthetic changes look
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
So if you hadn't checked out Community, definitely check some of that out. And next week when we record Hammerheads, we'll have all the stuff.
Yeah,
that you've already
I
read
don't
about.
feel so
We'll talk
bad
about it.
because I saw
Yeah.
those and I looked at those articles, but I was like, this isn't talking about the new edition. They said they're going to have, but I get they're talking about the new armies. That they're
yeah,
gonna
all the
release
new
with
all
it.
the new stuff at Warhammer Fest. They're coming out with new stuff every day.
right. Yeah.
God, if you haven't seen that new black coach model,
Oh,
that thing's
my
like a foot long.
gosh.
Yeah.
That thing's ridiculous.
It's huge.
I'm so glad you're doing the night haunts because I would not want to have to transport that
I know,
even
right?
to the local game store. to
I
play
know
a game.
that's going to be its own shoebox in and of itself.
No. Oh my god. I'll be transporting that one for him because that's not happening.
Now, Tela, I will joke around about
It was
the
worth
lack
it.
of need for detail of painting,
Yeah.
and I'll kind of mess with you about that. But I am 100% on the same page with you and Wes about the way Seth transports his models.
Awful.
It hurts me.
Like I will transport models in a box, like I did when we played this weekend, but I very gently carry them. And
Yeah.
Seth's
Listen.
just like they're all laying on their sides.
The moment that he gave up his Deepkin, I literally went in the room and I was like, I'm going to be taking care of you now. And I put all of them in foam.
They're not even painted yet.
No, they're not even painted.
If they're not painted, I don't put them in.
You
foam.
will be loved now.
Yeah, I was like, he'll be taken care of.
Yeah, I got to go pluck foam for these Doom wheels now.
Yeah, you do. They're not horrible to pluck foam for.
No, they look pretty good,
They've
actually.
got a few little bits that stick out from them.
Stick out a little far.
Yeah, and then the little warp stones that stick out of the side are annoying.
That's the part that I would catch on something just pink.
I love painting warpstone though. Warpstone's like my favorite thing. In the
No,
world to
yeah,
paint.
warp stones.
So
I
cool.
can't paint it worth a crap. But
Oh,
it's
whatever.
pretty cool.
Just dark green and then dry brush the crap out of it.
Yeah. You always tell me that, and mine
Probably
never
when we
quite
do
looks
all
right.
the night hunt when it comes in.
Oh man, the Night Hunter are going to be fun with those two new glazes. I'm super
yeah,
excited
yeah.
because
That
GW
technical paint.
glazes are really good. If you're not using GW glazes, try them out. They're some of GW paints are pretty terrible. I won't lie, but GW glazes
Well, just
shelf.
the technology in the paint blends has gone so far. That has made me a better painter, and it's nothing I've done. It's just the improvement of the paints that are available and what the paints actually do
Yeah, they're finer pigments
chemically
now,
and
which is
physically
nice.
when you put them on the model. So, love the new paints. So, final thoughts. Did we cover everything? I think
Yeah, pretty much.
I think we did.
Got it.
We skimmed a lot because it was a lot of stuff.
We're not
going
to give you war scroll by war scroll.
No,
I think we decided a long time ago we're not doing that
The
anymore.
War Scroll, you don't even have to buy the book to look at the War
Yeah.
Scrolls. So, just go
Yeah,
to the
if you haven't
website
done it
and-
by now, I mean, you're just
Yeah.
listening to us talk anyway.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you just like to hear us talk, and I can't imagine why you would want to just hear us talk. So, what do you guys think of the book overall? Our Warhammer rating.
I love it. I mean, it's a 5 for me. I don't think there's been a book that's not a 5, but
Yeah.
definitely 5 hammers for this one. All the new stuff, all the way it works together, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think just from a new lore standpoint, it's really cool to have new lore that so seamlessly wraps into the old lore and doesn't feel like it's retconned in. Like it feels like it was.
Except for the Whirlgates.
Oh, right. Yeah. Those feel a little retconny.
That's a little retcon.
But they do feel. It feels like this was just lore we didn't know about. It's not like we had to go remake it up.
who went down there and came back? Nobody.
Yeah.
They could have been there. You don't know.
Yeah.
There's some orcs that found out, but they couldn't tell anybody. They were dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think overall, I really do want to see the army play.
By someone else.
Well, no, I just want to.
Effectively.
I want to
see.
see a. I mean, like
I
fully
want to see it
painted,
played
army
and painted
plates.
at a full.
Oh my gosh!
At a full clip, I want to see a
Yeah.
2,000 point or a 2,500 war host.
Yeah.
Because I feel like 2,500 points or even 2,000, it's going to be a really fun army, really good army, and a tough army to play against.
Yeah.
So,
And it's going to look awesome. So while you're getting pounded to death by them, you're going to be looking at some beautiful models.
Right.
and like someone asked on the Facebook page, do you think you're going to see more like water themed boards and stuff like that? Definitely.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely think you will.
Because why not?
Even if tournament organizers don't, you're going to see some in your local hobby area because the people that play them are going to do stuff.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, no, already the Games Workshop store that's near here, the one that's in Jacksonville, they had like a community paint. They bought a new the Realms of Battle Age of Sigmar, not the Shattered Dominion one, but just the regular one.
Right.
And all the hills they painted as land, but all the low-lying areas they painted blue. And they did it as a community paint. Where it's like, hey, come in. We've got brushes and paints. You can grab a square and go to town on it. And yeah, like I saw some of the pictures. I was like, I wish I lived closer to Jacksonville. I would have gone and got on that because it would have been fun. But
Yeah.
it was pretty cool to see the way it turned out as a pretty cool water-themed board.
So there you go.
Yeah, people
the
are gonna
answer is
do it.
yes. Well, and it's exciting because it's new.
Yeah.
And, so, I've already been kind of thinking, okay, what can I do to get a table that's a little bit water themed?
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that anymore because that's not going to play them. So.
Aw.
Right. Just go back to fire themed tables.
Yeah, I scored out. I don't like to give 5s, but I kind of have to. It's all new stuff.
Yeah, it's brand.
So I've got to give
Brand
credit there
spanking new.
for nothing else. And the models are amazing. The artwork in the book is really good.
Good.
So, and then of course the rules are wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like it. So you gonna keep the models that he has and paint them up, Tela?
Well, we've got a friend that's interested in them that wants me to paint them for him. So yeah, they'll be taken
You're not
care
supposed
of.
to tell them about me.
Yeah.
So it was you all along.
If he listens to this at all, I'm gonna do my best with the army, but I think they'll be taken care of, and then he'll get them and take care of them outside of a shoebox. So
Outside of a shoebox. So he's not going to put them in a shoebox.
no,
He's just going to tote them around his arms.
He's very careful. He's very loving of his army.
He'll transport them one at a time.
Yeah.
All right. So that's that. Any additional comments? Anything else, guys?
No, we will cover Warhammer Fest soon, we promise.
Next week is the plan.
Next week.
Yeah, next week will be Warhammer
yes,
stuff.
you did not lose a week somewhere. We are late. That is my fault. I had a week away at a seminar, then a week getting ready for a wedding for my daughter.
A week building this table that we're on,
And-
which I don't know if you posted the pictures on Warhammer or if you posted that on Tabletop, but either way, it was
I posted it on Tabletop.
I think you put them on Facebook too, though.
I put it on Facebook too. But well, actually, that wasn't a week. But the last Tuesday when we were supposed to record was my first day back at work.
That's right.
In 14 days. And I was just slammed. By the time I got home, I was like, guys, no, I can't even do it.
No.
So it's totally my fault that we're late. I accept all the blame. So give all the love to Seth and Tela and Wes and throw all the hate my way. But we do plan to be back next week, and we'll start talking about Warhammer Fest and any of the news and rumors that we're able to scrounge up on the new edition coming out
feel free
soon.
to get all the information because we're just going to talk about it.
Yeah. We're just going to probably fanboy and geek out.
Yeah,
pretty much, so.
If you want specifics, that's what the
It
internet's for.
it will probably be either more of a rambling, boring podcast next week or a funner one because we'll just be
I don't know. I
I mean, I'll be
our geek
honest,
stuff.
it's going to be complete tinfoil hat from me and Seth, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know it. And I'm honestly, we need to be sponsored by one of the coffee shops here because, I know the more this goes on, the more I just start rambling. 'Cause
Right.
I always bring coffee here, and it gets to me by the end of it.
That's actually the only reason that I do this every week because
for
Seth
coffee.
and Tela bring me a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So. All right, so guys, you can reach us on Twitter at Age of the Hammer. Or our email, ageofthehammer@gmail.com, or on Facebook, also Age of the Hammer. And don't forget to contact Wes with Broken Brush Gaming. Give him your contact again, Wes.
You can reach me on Twitter at broken_brush. That's probably the easiest way. Just shoot me a DM or at message, or you can hit me up on brokenbrushgaming@gmail.com.
Definitely slide into your DMs when it comes to painting.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, slide in the DMs.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will talk to you again next week. And until then, you know it. Keep rolling dice.
The SGWA would like to thank you for listening. We would also like to mention our theme music, the classic O Fortuna, as recorded by the MIT Concert Choir and used under common license. The Age of the Hammer is upon us.